Hey, what's up, y'all? I want to talk about what you should think about before leaving a company. I wanted to make this video for primarily for those who are thinking about getting into the trucking industry. Um, Not necessarily for those who are already in it, though. If you're finding this video, you probably already are, and you're trying to prepare for leaving a company, or you're trying to look at the best ways to leave a company. And I'll talk about that as well. Trust me, I've done it enough times. Um, but for those of you who are not already in the trucking industry, you don't have your CDL yet, you're just looking into it. Um, Something that you should consider is that whenever you get a job with an OTR company that is most likely not in your state, that they will pay for your transportation there. They're not going to pay for your transportation to go back. Rarely do you see that. Now there have been some who have, sorry, I got to adjust this. There have been some who have testified that, oh yeah, my company paid for me to go home. I quit, and they even bought my plane ticket. Wow. you know that doesn't happen for everybody. You were highly favored, you know but vast majority of the companies out there, they're not going to pay for your way home. There are some exceptions, like, say, like, even CR England, CR England Prime. If you don't get your CDL, then they'll send you packing. They'll pay for your bus ticket back home. But those are also starter companies. They show a little more grace. But you know for everybody who is watching this, you know, I guess, like, the best way to leave a company is before you say a single word to dispatch. Just don't even say a word until you have a plan. You have it mapped out in your head what that plan's going to look like. Ask around with other drivers with your company, or possibly other drivers that have driven for your company, and ask if they're fair. Because if you ask the company themselves, or you try to ask, like, an employee while they're not clocked in or whatever, they're not they're most likely not going to be straightforward with you. you know or maybe what they say, they don't have all the information. You know what I mean? But what I mean by a plan is, what is this going to look like after you put in your notice? You say, I don't want to drive for you anymore. I'm putting in my 1 week or my 2 week notice, whatever. um what's going to happen? you know are you looking at airplane fares? In my opinion, that's the best way to get home. I mean, unless you're just like 100 miles from home, I mean, maybe then a bus, or have someone come pick you up or something like that. But if you're 4 or 5 states over, you want to get home as soon as possible. You don't want to spend any more money than you have to. So if I were you, I would look into airfares. What airfares are right now. I mean, they may change in the future, but you start saving up a little bit of money, um, for that purpose. You look at how much they're charging. Well, it could be more, it could be less. So save more for your bus ticket or your plane ticket, or what have you. Um, Also, something to think about is, dropping everything off at home. Uh, the home time before you put in your notice. Only keep the things that you can carry on with you on a bus or a plane. Um, Also, in that plan, you've got to you gotta you gotta think about how many clothes you want to leave at home. Because you don't want to, like, usually I have more clothes than I actually need. For I usually stay out for 2 weeks at a time. Um, I keep it in a laundry bag. It's full. Um, it's a fairly large laundry bag, but it has more than I actually need in the bag. Now, whenever I go home on my last home time before I put in my notice, I will take at least 3/4 of the clothes that I have, leave them at home. I don't want to bring any more bags with me on the plane than I actually need to bring, because that's a hassle. Um, Something else you should consider is food. Um, are you going to be, putting some money aside for food while you're putting in your honorable week or 2 week notice or whatever? Um, and that does make you look good. I don't care if the company's kind of now, if they're really crappy, I wouldn't even, like, CR England. I didn't even give them a notice. I told my co-driver, I was like, nah, I've had enough of this. Um, and I know I've heard stories. I know that they can do you dirty if you quit. So what I did is I went on home time. I took everything off the truck, and then I set up for my next company. And then once everything was finalized and I had a plane ticket to go to orientation, then I called and said, well, they didn't pick up, so I left a message, and they didn't listen to the message either. So, um, anyways, so uh, they didn't even know that I had quit, which that's they were Sierra England, for a company that's been in business for over 100 years. They sure are unorganized. I called several times. Um, Nobody picked up, so I left a message saying, "Hey, I quit. Took everything off the truck." And by the time I was with K and B Transportation, I was on like my second or third load. My old co-driver at Sierra England called me up and said, "Hey, did you tell them that you were going to quit?" I was like, "Well, I left a message. I'm not playing that game where I have to call 10 times before somebody picks up. I'm not going to do it." So I left a message. So anyways, yeah, I mean, take all things considered. You know, ask other drivers if your company could possibly do you dirty. Save money. Plan ahead for airfare, bus fare, what have you. Put money aside for food. Take off what you don't want to lug around once you get off the plane, or get on, before you get on the plane. Plan that out ahead of time. Um, look at airfare. Just pay attention to the prices and stuff. Um, and you know, put in, take all that off before you put in your 2 weeks notice. Um, and plan for food, as well as tickets for, like, airplane ticket, or bus ticket, or what have you. Just keep these things in mind. For those of you who don't have your CDL, these are things that you're going to have to consider once you're in the industry. Those of you who do have your CDL and you've never left a company, think about these things. They're important. you know. Um, Anyways, I just wanted to make this video. Uh, Information is power, and you know Uh, in this day and age, information is something that is so skewed, and we need it. We need good information. I just wanted to put that up, y'all. Anyways, y'all take it easy. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. Peace.